Morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 43 in the book of Genesis. We're in Genesis chapter 5 today. We're going to learn about a guy named Enoch. Today's title is Enoch Walked with God. He walked with God for 300 years after he turned 65 years old. We've been in this chapter of this long history of 10 generations of men that lived after Adam, and most of them lived around 900 years. And Enoch's life is taken short because the Lord took him. Now, he's spoken of, this God really wants us to know about this guy because he's spoken of both in the Old Testament here in Genesis, but also in the book of Hebrews and also in the book of Jude. Here it is from Genesis. We'll start with his father in chapter 5, verse 18. When Jared had lived 162 years, he fathered Enoch. Jared lived after he fathered Enoch 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. Verse 21, when Enoch had lived 65 years, he fathered Methuselah. Verse 22, Enoch walked with God after he fathered Methuselah 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all of the days of Enoch were 365 years. And then here's the big verse. 24. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. So the thing about this is that everybody in this genealogy before the flood makes a point here to say that they died. But Enoch here, he walked with God, and God took him, and he was not. The only other person I could think of in the Bible that God took or translated from this world to the next without going through death was Elijah. That's in 2 Kings chapter 2, where this chariot of fire and horses separates Elijah from Elisha, and that's the only other guy. All right, so what kind of world did he live in? Because that's important, because what kind of world do we live in? And maybe he had it easy. Well, he didn't. There was righteous and unrighteous just like today, but there's going to be a flood in chapter 6. So there's this time of great evil shortly following, and probably at this time as well. So what else do we know about Enoch? Let's look at the New Testament passages because they kind of lend some things. There's one in Hebrews chapter 11. It's the Hall of Fame of Faith. And it says, by faith, Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. So when it says that he was no more, it means he didn't experience death on this earth. He couldn't be found. God took him. And he was one that pleased God before he died. God commended him for this. Remember what faith is. Faith is trusting in the person of God before you can see the promises of God, before you see the promises of God. Then there's another passage in Jude, verses 14 and 15. Enoch, the seventh from Adam. Now, he tells us this because there's this other line, this evil line that's coming from Cain. He also had a son named Enoch. He was the third generation from Adam. But here, the seventh Enoch from Adam is the good guy. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about these men. See, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone and to convict all the ungodly of all the ungodly acts they have done in an ungodly way, and of all the harsh words ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So this is amazing. So Enoch, before the flood, is going to prophesy about Jesus. And he's not prophesying about Jesus' first coming, where he comes to serve and to give an example and to die. He's prophesying about Jesus' second coming, the judgment coming, where all these ungodly acts from ungodly people done in ungodly ways and said with ungodly things are done. So we find that Enoch was a preacher, and he reminds us of the big future in Jesus. And the teaching point with that is, let's bend our words and bend our attitudes and bend our acts towards godliness and live this important interior life that Enoch did so well. All right. What does it mean to walk with God? What does the Bible mean by that? It means to be godly, to agree with the commendable characteristics. We're going to find those in Galatians 5:22, and change, embracing conviction. Take it seriously. Take sin seriously and do it over a long period of time. Enoch's was 300 years. Yours might only be 50 or who knows how many, but keep walking, keep going. It's not a casual stroll, it's this faithful pursuit over time in a lifestyle that pleases God. It's a concept that's all the way through the New Testament, Galatians 5:6. So the church throughout Judea and Galilee and Samaria had peace and was being built up, and walking in the fear of the Lord and in the comfort of the Holy Spirit, it multiplied. So it's something that the New Testament says we're supposed to be doing as well. So when he was translated, it means he left this earth without going through death. So do you walk with God? Let's make some conclusions here today. So can I live righteously in an evil world? Yeah, you can. Even Enoch did it. Can I please God by my deeds, attitudes, and words? Yes, Enoch did it. And is this going to be a long road? Well, hopefully, yes. Keep on walking. It's going to be many steps towards one destination. And today, you don't have to do many steps today. You just have to do today's steps today. And have faith in God, which is trusting in a great God who's done great things. So is this an encouragement to modern times? Absolutely. I don't see anything that's changed, really. At the end of our life, may they say, hey, she pleased God in an evil world. She walked with God and then she went with God. So let's do what is in our control today, walking with our attitudes and our words and our actions. And perhaps we too will be either translated and we'll probably have to go through death, but I can't wait for that either. Thanks for listening.